How do, everyone? Yes, welcome to the Potty Mouth. We're here again. Fine day. Jess says it's red hot down south, but it's normal up here in the northeast of England, which is it's just normal. So, hello, everyone who's in our chat. Welcome. There's quite a few in there.
Oh, yeah, I found it.
See. Yes, thank you so much. Everybody else, get yourselves in there. JB. How are you doing?
Hello.
You good?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Turn up to the party. Are you working hard there? You cut all the ties off now. The office boy.
Oh yeah, it's a nice relaxed shirt. This one for the stonking heat. It is absolutely roasting.
Right.
It was forecast 29 today. But
is this the heat
been hiding?
Is this the heat we were getting? Because we were supposed to get one, but if that's it, it was here yesterday and it was about 27 or something, and that was it. I hope that's not this year's heat wave.
That's summer. That's summer done. Yeah.
Go on.
It's a bit late to arrive.
Jess, are you all right? Are you good? Nice to see you.
All good. It's really hot here as well. Really hot. It is 29 today. So.
No, it's nice, but it's nothing. It's just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? And, well, it's not raining. Should I say so? You know, I'm home alone at the moment. You know, and I didn't realise I'm still home alone for another week. I put washing out. I put the washing out the other day, and it rained within the hour. I was so like, how first world problem, eh? Do you know what I mean? The big daft lad. He's quite proud of putting washing out, and I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. It's raining. So,
Did you notice and have to run out with the washing basket, bring everything in?
But this is the thing, JB. I'm not doing me grass. I'm doing grass seed, so it's not as easy at the moment to run out and get the washing in. So I had to sacrifice the washing because I've got bins. I've got wheelie bins all there. I've got plant pots to stop the dogs getting through. Do you know what I mean? But then I was like, it takes a while to get it. And I went, oh, you know what? It's just me smalls. You know what I mean? Rainwater won't. You know what I mean? Won't matter. So, Audrey, how are you doing, girl?
Yes, doing great. Thank you. I have to ask you what your smalls are.
Really?
Knickers.
Oh, yeah. Never heard that. Okay.
Oh,
never heard it. So, yeah, I think they're fine if they get rained on. You'll be fine.
When I say a small princess, I mean something.
I was waiting. I was waiting for that, correction. Yes.
You well? How's
That's
things?
why I think I've never heard smalls before. I think that's exactly why.
I mean, we call them all sorts over here. You know what I mean? So shreddies. Have you heard of shreddies? Do you call them shreddies down there, JB?
Shreddies?
No.
Time for a new pair if you're calling them shreddies.
I mean, some of mine could easily be called shreddies, but I don't think that's
all right. Hey, man, there must be a northern thing for balls or underpants. Where's this going? You know what I mean? The best gardening channel and so. Well, I tell you what, I mentioned straight away is Ian's mentioned. If I can pull it up there, he's got a garlic. There's a garlic kind of growing. You know, he's got a pre-orders going, and they'll run out now on the 6th of August. So, because I says, well, what do you mean like pre-orders? Why will they run out? Well, he's only going to order a certain batch because he doesn't want to be left with a whole house full of garlic. So.
Sure.
6th of August, get your pre-orders in there now, and then they'll come when they're ready. I did say to him, I says, mind you, you're looking after me. So there's a link. There'll be a link in the description. Please, if you can. Oh, I put JB on full there. What the?
Oh, hello everyone.
Right.
I was laughing at the idea of Grown Local ending up with Audrey amounts of garlic. Just his whole garden turning into a garlic farm.
Yeah, we're not going back there.
I'm going to try garlic this season or kind of going into next season, but I'm going to do it down here in containers, you know what I mean? I've seen quite a few people do it and have great success. You know what I mean? And pretty probably close together as well. So, do you know what I mean? Because I just don't want onion white rot. Do you know what I mean? And that's the whole. So I'm going to try the house garlic, see if that works. You know what I mean?
Mine worked really well in pots. I did them in the 30-litre potato tubs in my spent chili pepper compost, and they were amazing. They were like standard, and it was just supermarket garlic. So I did it as an experiment, really, just to see whether or not they'd get white rot. And they were completely fine. They weren't massive bulbs or anything, but same as what you'd buy at the supermarket, so very pleased.
Well, JB, to be honest, we've got some garlic from the supermarket, and it's what I would be like upset at growing. Do you know what I mean? They're that small looking things, so they're going through quality control. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I was just glad to actually be able to grow something for the first time ever, really, with garlic. Actually having it on the allotment, not rotting.
Yes,
over the moon.
Yeah.
Anything else? What's going on? Any garlic, Jess? No. No.
Yours was not good, was it, Jesse?
My garlic was a complete and utter fail this year. Yeah, it was just a goner. But I've always been like, oh well, I'm just not even gonna bother with garlic next year. And then you just put that thing up, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could pre-order some.
Yeah.
Like.
It's irresistible, isn't it? It's irresistible.
It's like, yeah, I know. This year, when I was digging that stuff out, and I like putting my hand in it, and it's just like my fingers are going through what used to be the garlic, you know, and it was just like, I was quite definite that I wasn't going to grow anymore, but maybe.
I know, and the garlic queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you?
Surprised you don't have a garlic headdress on or something for today's.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to grow more.
So you'll be not using grown local, or you'll be using your own cloves, are you?
I will probably just use some that I just took out. Because I've recycled those for a couple of years now, and they just keep getting better. So I'm going to kind of stick with that. I might need to buy some new elephant garlic, because my elephant garlic went kind of weird.
Right.
So I think it needed to be pulled probably weeks before the regular garlic, because it was all splitting. You know, sometimes if you leave it in too long, the cloves come apart.
Oh,
and it almost looks like tendons that are, the big... yeah. So, I mean, they taste great, but I think I need to start with a new batch.
Well, I think, Audrey, that was happening exactly to mine, to be honest. But I kind of count that as a win. Do you know what I mean? That's a win to me. It's just, if it's got no white rot on it, I'll take kind of... I know exactly what you mean. It's like the split, and it just does look like a knuckle bone.
It looks like a bone with tendons, and but they still taste. They still taste wonderful. I just think I want to get some fresh new stock for the elephant. So that's my plan for this.
How many did you grow again? Just remind us, Audrey, how many garlic?
I ended up with 50 elephant and 150 regular.
Oh, man.
50 elephant.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've tried elephant garlic a couple of times, but it does the same thing as the garlic, so it's not.
Oh, really? I did find when I did it, it was definitely much more resistant to white rot.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not the only problem. We've got white rot, allium leaf miner, rust, everything. Just like it just got by whatever was there. Whatever passed through first. It's like,
but did you guys find that you have to? You should harvest it sooner than the regular.
I can't remember. I only did it once.
Because I made a note of that this year, because I think I'm going to try to harvest it a week or two sooner, so I don't get that.
What would be the are you just going for looks there, Audrey, though? Because like I say, when I pull it and you can see them tendons, they look all right.
But you can't store those at all.
Right.
Oh.
So I'd love to at least get a month or two out of it, so I don't have to do all that processing the minute I get it out of the ground.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot to process garlic. So...
Jess, would you not think about bringing it down to the house and doing it in pots, like with, like, say, board compost, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was such a
know.
resigned.
It's
Yeah.
been a while since
Yeah.
you've had garlic.
I mean, the garden is so small here. Like the house garden's like not a great deal bigger than this room I'm sitting in, so there's not a huge amount of space. And like putting garlic in pots, I mean, although you can plant them quite close together, it's still not like a lovely display. It's still garlic. I've just actually this morning, I put tomatoes in the front garden, so I've put something in. I know that all the tomatoes are just going to be eaten by everybody else who walks past.
I was going to say, yeah.
But because they're right on the front, but I've got space, so I've chucked them in. Otherwise, they're just going to go to sad in the greenhouse, because I've got nowhere else to put them.
I mean, it's still it's the 29th of July. How have they got tomatoes on? Have you just planted like ones that have got full trusses on, Jess, or are these like little plants?
They're less than a foot high. They certainly don't have tomatoes on. They're small, but I don't want to see them so these are the same size as the ones that I put into the polytunnel. Polytunnel ones are now chest height and covered in flowers, and they're doing brilliantly. These guys have sat in the pots, and they're the same size as like the other ones when they went in, and it just it hurts seeing them sit there looking really sad. So I thought I might as well just bung them in and see if they do anything. Yeah. But I can't believe how quick the ones in the polytunnel have grown. They're massive.
Once they get going.
Everyone was saying about mine, like, oh, it's only, but like once you get them footed in, and it's like you've missed that kind of coal sap, they're away. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of fair. I think mine went a bit too quick. Do you know what I mean? Because I've had my first harvest, but I was going to mention it, Jess, that I've only gotten one. I mean, I've got them down here outside, and they're kind of coming up to there now, but they're just little tomatoes. Whether they'll get big and ripen before our cold hits. And I've had it, and it was lovely. I'll be honest, it was lovely. But I only have had one pork chop out of.
Oh,
Is pork chop a heirloom one? Because I know we talked about it, like not as many as kind of normal varieties, heirlooms. So, but there's only been one actual tomato that's kind of come from the pork chop.
I don't know. I haven't found. I mean, I wouldn't say pork chop is prolific, but it's not like a one-horse tomato. A one.
Where did that come from?
You know where I'm
It's
going
the
with
heat.
that. None of that.
Yeah,
was correct,
I know where you're
but
going.
In there,
Mixing your metaphors.
yeah.
A one-horse tomato.
It's not a
Like a
one-horse
one-hit wonder.
tomato. Don't. Yeah. Normally, I mean, how big was the one that you got?
Well, I'll start first then, Jess. Is it yellow? Like yellowish?
Yes.
Right, so
Yeah.
I've got the right one. So
It's bright yellow.
yeah, so
Yes.
it's probably about that.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't get us wrong, it was lovely. And there's other little ones, but they're like nowhere near. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just thinking, I
So,
wonder.
did you taste it, Tony?
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You didn't give it to your
Don't get us
daughter.
wrong, absolutely lovely. Do you know what I mean? It's and I've got them down, like I say, outside, but it would have been just nice to have 3 or 4 this first round of picking. Do you know what I mean? So, but we'll see. We'll see. I have.
Now, have you tasted a prime? Battlestar Galactica Prime? Whatever.
Audrey,
The
you're
one
not
we
taking the
never
science fiction genre seriously here. It's Rebel Starfighter. Yes, I've tasted Rebel
There we go.
Starfighter, and I've tasted Lithium Sunset as well.
Oh,
And the lithium
And what's the
Sunset-
opinion?
Oh,
How are
Lithium
they-
Sunset.
How was the Rebel Starfighter?
There's fantastic. It looks
Was it?
fantastic, and it's prolific. To be honest, and they're a nice, they're a nice kind of size as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Good.
just one more. Shut up! You know what I mean? We're babysitting Prince, and I can hear them fighting, but I can hear. Right. I'm a dog. I'm a dog lover. Will you shut up or I'll ring you? Right. When quiet now. They're all just sitting there though. You know, since Melanie's went away, because what happens when we're both in the living room, Melanie gets up, and it's true. Melanie gets up, goes to the kitchen. Our three will just follow Melanie, and she says they follow us all around the bloody house, the toilet, the bed. They never do that with me. But now Melanie's away for the like the time in Japan. They're constantly following us around. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? Leave us alone. So, I tell you what, mind you, Jess, I'm getting quite a few, and I think it was me lucky dip one as well, the Alice's Dream. So I think it is, and it's what you described. So I'm hoping it is. I don't know what else it could be, but then they're about that size, and it's just like this lovely kind of dark to blended orangey at the bottom sort of thing. Nice.
Have you tasted them yet?
I tasted them I kind of cut up a couple with an onion and then put burgers in there and put them, I'm living alone at the moment, so I'm kind of self-sufficient. So in the oven, so they kind of went down to like a nice sticky sweet sauce.
Right.
And were honestly like sweet as candy from that way as well. So
Nice.
The shape of that tomato didn't look like it was Alice's Dream. Because I remember in your video, you held it up, and it looked more heart-shaped.
It
looked a little more, well, like it had a pointed bottom.
I could nip down, but then that's bad at editing. But I don't want to edit. You know what I mean? I could nip down and get one. It might not be, because
I just thought, wow, that's not what I was expecting. Because I'm growing those this year.
They're quite flat. They don't have a pointy bum.
Right.
They're like oval.
Right. That's why I wasn't sure that was actually it. But it looked like a good tomato, whatever it was.
I did mind you, Audrey, when I was doing the video, I messed up and I forgot. I mentioned on the video that I forgot to put stabilization on my camera. I must have knocked it off accidentally. So the first video that I did where I cut them all and kind of collected them all, it's unreal how bad camera footage is without stabilization. I couldn't.
Yes.
It's stupid, and especially with me. Do you know what I mean? It's just like unreal.
Yeah, it's like a car without shocks.
And I just I thought, how am I going to get this sorted? So when I was doing the video, and I didn't realize that I got all my Brads and Black Moons mixed up, and I was calling Brad's Atomics. These are lovely, and I was holding the bloody Black Moon. I says, you know what I mean? The colour is just stunning, absolutely stunning. It was the wrong tomato. So, is anybody else getting any tomatoes? Or am I the only?
You're so far ahead of everyone else.
Well, how is that? Because again, we're up north, so it's colder. Maybe I just hit that we talk about. Oh, JB, nope.
Sorry, dropping things.
When you just plant them at the right time. But I think
you caught the crest.
I caught
you must have just got it.
Mm-hmm.
Mine has a lot of tomatoes on them, but they're green. I have one that's been producing. It's a cherry. It was a volunteer that I just let go, and oh my gosh, it's loaded with so much fruit. I can't believe it.
Nice.
And they're very tasty. So whatever it is,
I
think it's a
tell
sweet
what it
100.
is?
I think it's a sweet 100.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But just lovely. But those are gardener's snacks. I don't know that those are going to make it in the house.
Very good, very good. I had my first tomato come ripe the other day. I was down there just in the morning, on Friday morning, and I was like, "Oh, it's time! It's time! I've got to taste this one." And it was first thing in the morning. I just brushed my teeth, and so that it was just horrible. And I was like, "Oh no, I've ruined my first tomato taste." It was only a tiny little cherry. It wasn't. I don't think it was quite ripe either. I think I jumped the gun a little bit, but we're
it's
nearly
hard to
there.
tell
I'm
with toothpaste taste in your mouth,
I was not getting any clear flavors coming.
Yes.
through.
I think it's just what you said there, JB, though. You're just there nearly. Do you know what I mean? Once them first couple the early ones come, then they all come, and then then the glut starts to come, and it's just like, does anybody want any tomatoes? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many red sauces can you make? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, Tony. You can make a lot of red sauces.
I bought this year a food mill. Like I had one from before for my chili sauces, but I bought a much better one. It's upgraded. It's a bit bigger. It's like a Roselle, I think, or Rosler. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. We're going to make so much tomato sauce this year. The freezer is going to be absolutely
is that one of them
loaded.
turny?
Yeah, one of them turny ones.
Yeah.
So it's not electric or anything. I did
They're
look
brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I did look at whether or not it was worth investing in like an electric motorized one, but they're
so
silly
easy
money.
though. Like, they're silly money, and also like the turning, it's not exactly difficult. Like tomato, particularly with something like tomatoes, they're so soft anyway. Like the one that we've got is, I mean, we must have had it for 35 years, and it's like, it's plastic, like a plastic sieve one, and then the grinder is metal inside it. But it's that fantastic colour of like slightly off brown orange, like really late 70s, early 80s
Yes.
colour.
Antique.
Like it's a classic item.
Yeah.
But it still works brilliantly. Like all these years later, and we use it every year. It's
Amazing.
good.
So you know the electric ones, JB, have they got Bluetooth by any chance? Just asking for a friend. Do you know what I mean? Can you connect with the Wi-Fi?
I bet there's one out there that you
Yeah,
can.
There must be.
I'm sure somebody has done that.
And it'll
The
just
only
get a
ones,
ping on your phone. It's done.
yeah. The only ones I could see that are like actually worth spending money on are like four figures. You're talking over £1,000.
Wow.
You can get some that are sort of like 400, 500, but apparently they're rubbish. They won't last. So not worth it. No way.
Yeah,
unless you're doing it.
like doing it for a living.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Silly money.
What make did you get then, JB?
For the little handheld food mill, it was still pretty dear. It was like 60, 70 quid, something like that for this food mill. But they're meant to be the best ones. It's one Chili Champ recommends for chili sauce as well. And the one I've got for chili sauce is rubbish. And it's one of those things, every time I get it out and use it to like get all the pulp out of the chili sauce, I'm just like questioning my life decisions. It takes so long. You're just there like grinding and grinding for hours. So yeah, it's Rosler, Rosle, I think. Let me double check. Talking about yourselves. just the sound of my... Yes, it is, Rosler. Right. With a little umlaut over the O. So I'm sure it's pronounced differently. It's currently £100. So I got it on for a much better price than
See,
that.
that's the... It's now tomato like season, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's it, isn't it?
The prices up of everything. Do you know what I mean?
They're meant to be absolute premium, sort of last a lifetime, one of those items. So sometimes it's worth splashing out a little bit, isn't it?
David's saying the KitchenAid does it as well, so...
Interesting. Jess has always wanted one of those. She's always looking at them.
Well, the KitchenAid.
My Jess, sorry, not Jess.
Right.
I've got a KitchenAid. I'm all right.
Very good.
They're a work.
Mine's actually really playing up at the moment. We sent it back for they're supposed to be completely indestructible, and we sent it back to be like serviced, and the motor is really like low power, like making cake. When you're doing the butter and the sugar together, it starts going. And it's like butter and sugar is not that hard, to beat together. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's being misbehaving.
It's went back, has it?
It went back and it got its service done and checked out because it was doing this stupid thing with the motor before. But they sent it back and said, "Oh, it's absolutely fine. We've done all the changes to it, but it's not. It's just as silly as it was before."
So, JB, why would you use like your mill over your food processor? Because I watched ages ago. You made or a couple of years ago, you made like a chili sauce, like how to make chili sauce in the I think it was the fermented one, and you used like a processor, like a processor. Why would you use a mill over a processor?
Yeah, so It depends. With the chili sauce, basically, I do it just for texture. So, especially if you're making a vinegar-based hot sauce, like a Frank's or a Louisiana, that kind of thing, it's generally an awful lot of vinegar, and it's quite liquid. And I've done quite a lot of chili sauce now, and I tend to prefer one of those. They're a bit less kind of bitty, basically. You get a lot of the pulp removed, a lot of the seeds removed, and they don't clog up the bottles either. That's the worst thing. Is like when you've got a chili sauce that you've made too thick and you just cannot get it out the bottle. You're there like slamming it, like, come on, get out. But no, it depends on the sort of sauce that you want to make. So leaving all of that in is fine for some sauces, but they can be really thick. So the food mill, you sort of do it after the fermentation, so you get all the good stuff and all the flavor out of it, and then you take out all the seeds and the pulp, and you get this kind of like mash left over, which you can then dry and turn into like a seasoning rub and that kind of thing, which is really good.
Right.
But with tomatoes, it's just whether or not you want to make passata, really, which is sort of what I think we're going to make an awful lot of. Get rid of a lot of the water and the skin out of the tomato, and then you just kind of have the good passata left over.
Have you? I can't remember. Is your tomatoes in the ground, not in the pots, like the order? Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, all of my tomatoes are just in the ground in the polytunnel, and I must say, they're looking pretty good. They're looking really, really good. I've been watering and feeding quite heavily in the ground with Tomato Focus this year. Or not that heavily, but I have been feeding. And there's some really good looking trusses coming on. Quite a lot of fruit on there.
Mm-hmm.
Still quite far away from being ripe.
Which is your tomato that you're looking forward to? Is there a one variety that you kind of...
The one that I am most interested to see is the indigo blue chocolate. Because last year we had, I think that was one you sent, Audrey, from Baker Creek.
Yep.
And last year we had 2 tomatoes off that plant, and they were sublime. They were like the best tasting ones all year.
Yeah,
and
really
typically that plant was just really unhappy. It just wasn't growing right. So this year the plants look much healthier, and I think we just had a dodgy plant, and I'm hoping they're just as good as they were last year.
I hope you do too. They're very good, very good.
They look much healthier this year.
Have you got some of them in, Audrey? Have you? Have you got some of them in?
I do.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
Doing all right?
So,
Are they? Yeah.
Can you see them?
I think now that they're in. Wait, are you talking to me?
No, sorry,
what's happened to the
I
dogs?
was just about to say, shut up, but no, I'm not.
I try to be obedient when don't mention that to my husband.
You're a good girl. You'll have a treat at the end.
Yeah, don't say that to my husband because he will go, no, that doesn't work. I think now that all of my tomatoes are in the ground, they're doing great. So
nice.
And now that I've moved my tomatoes from this south-facing wall behind my garage, where I used to put them. They are so happy not against that south-facing wall. So that may be something I don't ever do again.
Very nice. So we're getting too hot.
I think they were getting too hot. So I have my peppers there this year. So I thought maybe they won't mind being so hot.
I think I got hit, Audrey, with, we had like a couple of spells of like red hot days, and I didn't have polytunnels open or anything, and I'm sure that's had some detrimental effect, you know what I mean, in them ones. But chilies seem to, like, again, they looking lovely, do you know what I mean? They're kind of away.
Yeah, nice. It's so funny with tomatoes. You can tell how good the weather has been, like between visits. If it's been really grey, I go in the polytunnel and, they've grown like that much. But after a day like today, I'm going to go down and you'll see they've just like shot up.
Yeah.
And I had the polytunnel closed a few weeks ago. That's why I had to go down on Friday morning because it finally brightened up. And everything's been like wide open since then.
Yeah.
So hopefully they are doing some good growing. And there's quite a few things I've noticed this year that just don't seem to taste as sweet, right? Has anyone else noticed that with like some of the beans and just some of the other veg where it's been so grey? I'm convinced that's what the cause is, where it's just not getting enough sun to properly get
Yeah.
those
I mean,
sugars
the beans that we've got now, like the French beans that are like producing like crazy, are fantastic. But
Yeah.
like they took a long time to do anything in the grey. Like they had flowers because once the beans start to flower, like the beans come really fast. When you
Right.
first see those first few flowers, you're like, oh, it's got flowers. And the next thing you turn around, it's got beans to pick.
Yes.
Like it's a
Yeah.
really quick like turnaround from flower to bean. And it just wasn't this time. They all started flowering and then they just stopped at the flowering stage. Like it was just nothing because it was really sunny. They all started and then it went crap again. But this like last week or 2 weeks where we've had like consistently pretty good weather, everything's flying. Like you say with the tomatoes, it's not even like growing this much. It's every day I'm going up there and having to wind the string around them more because they're like just shooting up. It's
Well, it
brilliant.
just,
Yeah.
Jess, it feels like just weeks ago. Well, it probably was that you were seeing your tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like these.
I know. It was barely a month ago that I put them in, and they were like piddly. They were like this, and now they're like chest height, and they look so strong this year. They really do.
Do you think is it better to wait? I know we kind of, gardeners are so impulsive, but I can't wait. Do you know what I mean? I just get paranoid that I'm going to miss the season more than like. But it's like I say, Jess has just put hers in like a month ago. You know what I mean? And even just planted outdoor ones now. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
But I just don't think this year in particular. Like I don't think my tomatoes would have come. Well, firstly, I didn't have a polytunnel cover, so that like delayed me enough. But I didn't feel like they were pushing to get out of those pots. They were just small. Nothing was growing. Nothing was happening. It just happened to coincide with I got the polytunnel cover done, and then the weather's turned really good. So like double whammy. But no, I mean, obviously, normally I would never be planting my tomatoes out at the end of June. Like it's normally a mid to early May thing. It's just one of those years, isn't it? It's like everybody's like, oh god, yeah, really.
Did you plant them, Jess? I watched the video and I can't remember. Did you plant them in soil or in compost?
What I filled with a polytunnel with. It's a combination of some of the soil that was in there before. So we've put it's in layers. The very bottom is all the roughage from the compost heap. So when we get the compost and then we sieve it, there's like loads of roughage that comes with it. That all went in the bottom. And then there was a bit of the soil left over from what we had dug out, and I just dumped it on some beds. So we turfed that back in, and then a mixture of our own compost sieved and bought compost on top.
Right.
So it's got quite a good mix. And actually, I've had a lot of years where I've had a lot of trouble with keeping it not going aquaphobic in there. You know, where you're watering it, but it doesn't take in any water. And so far this year, it's been great. It hasn't done that.
I've had that before, Jess, where it just lies on the top.
Infuriating, isn't
and you
it?
think, well, why is it not sinking in? Do you know what I mean? Just sink in.
You just can't do anything about it, and you're in there with like a little stick, just like stirring the soil, trying to get it to take something in. It's like...
Well, I'm sure, wasn't it Steve that used to say, like, go like a few weeks before and start watering your ground? Do you know what I mean? Like water your polytunnel just not every day, but you know what I mean? Like give it a good soak and then another good. So you beat that. You know, it's already kind of damped, moistened up. So
yeah,
you know.
I just remembered it's not aquaphobic, is it? It's hydrophobic. Sorry, wrong water.
Wrong water. What did you say before? What you got that saying?
I said aquaphobic instead of hydrophobic. I went Latin instead of Greek.
Oh, yeah. Dear me. Anything else? JB, you were mentioning in the potty about tomato blight going around.
Yeah, I saw a post on one of the Facebook gardening groups of someone quite local to me who'd lost in Hampshire, who'd lost all of their tomatoes to blight already, and I was very worried. I've been sort of eagle eye looking around the plot whenever I sort of walk to mine, and thankfully everyone's looks okay. But it's not that surprising. I think we've had a lot of. Well, I was going to say warm, wet weather. It's not been that warm, but it's definitely getting warmer. And with all the rain we've been having, it seems like a real recipe for tomato and potato blight.
Yeah.
Any
I mean,
news down your way, Jess?
touch wood. I haven't seen or heard of any reports near us, but my neighbour, a couple of plots up from us, all of his tomatoes died in his polytunnel of unknown causes. Like they just collapsed in there. It looked like some sort of bacterial or fungal thing.
All right.
But it didn't. It definitely wasn't blight. But yeah, he lost them all like quite early, like about a month ago. So
That's kind of when you want to scorch the earth, don't you? Like, let's just set it on fire and see if we can.
What's really strange is that
clean
he
this
then
up.
took some of my spares and he cleared the polytunnel and like put a bit of new compost in or whatever and planted some more in there, thinking, well, here we go, it's probably going to do the same, and they're going great guns. So I've got no idea what that could have been. I've never seen it before. Anyway, it was ugly.
Now, would this be early blight or late blight, or does that matter at this point?
I presume it's early still.
This would be mid
Jess
blight.
has just put. I would say it's early because Jess just put her tomatoes in.
Feels early, but I think this would be considered late blight, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
early
late blight.
really early, like early spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to mention.
I think early blight is actually a different bacteria or whatever.
Right. That's why I was just wondering if there's.
I think that can be as early as like May. You know, it can be a real shocker.
So, like the minute you put them in, they get it. That would be so disappointing.
Yeah, I think late blight for me, I'd be so upset. Like, I can take you losing pretty much anything on the allotment, but the tomatoes and chilies are the sacred ones for me. You know, if I lost them all to blight, I would be properly beside myself.
Oh, it's gut wrenching to be honest. It's funny enough, on the video I pointed out only on my beef tomato ones, and I used the scissors, so it's like a nice clean cut. There's every bit where I've cut like a leaf off. There's about 4 or 5 inches of like right damaged, and someone says, "Oh, that looks like a blight." Now it didn't to me look like blight. It just looked like a mold fungus had went into each like cut leaf, but just on a one variety. But they're the ones that and it's still, I pulled them big beef tomatoes off, so still doing all right. But it's had such you can see it like from space how bad they are. Do you know what I mean? So,
I was just looking at that on your video. I was scanning through looking for the mystery tomato, but yeah, I thought that was just the string rubbing. But it's not. It's where you've cut leaves.
And because it's what I've noticed, it's on the same plant, but I've had the plant in different locations on that side. My labeling doesn't work after a while. I thought that I thought my machine was the thing. Now it's great for the first month or two, but it's going to have to be back to pencil, the graphite pencil for like in the polytunnel. Just. I don't know if I'm.
I use paint markers. Paint markers.
I think someone mentioned them, Audrey, like a paint, like.
Yeah, I use that and paint stirs. The things you get with a gallon of paint that you can stir it up with. That's what I use for outside, and I've never lost a label, unless of course some bunny or squirrel took off with it.
Unless it's a malicious attack, you haven't lost
Exactly.
Yeah.
What
I tell you what's
say
really good for the big labels, like when you're planting stuff out, is if anybody's throwing away old Venetian blind, like the wooden slat blinds. They're brilliant. If you ever see one of them in a skip, just take them and just like cut them up into strips. They're perfect.
And what do you use to write? What do you use to mark them with?
I normally do paint the end of them black and use a white wax pencil. Doesn't come off. You have to use like white spirit to wipe them off at the end of the season.
Right.
It works really well.
Top tip there.
I've always used Sharpies. Chris in the chat has just said he's a Sharpie man, and I've always used Sharpies, and generally they will last until around the end of the season. This year I started using. I used the super thin, like the fine point, which is like great because I use really small labels, but they do not last. You need the proper thick.
Well, they have some Sharpies out now that are UV resistant.
Yeah.
But I still even found those can fade a bit.
Yeah.
I always like that they
What's a
fade by
lawn-
the end of the season.
What's a laundry marker pen? What's
No idea.
What
when
you
you
write
when you're
on
doing
the-
shared laundry and you've got to write your name on your knickers or your smalls, as the case may
Didn't you
be.
ever
On your
do
shreddies.
that with your
Didn't
kids'
you go to
clothing?
boarding school, Tony?
I'm a Mummy used to sort all my smalls out. I was an only child. It was all folded neatly with my names on. I didn't have to.
Oh my
Mummy,
goodness!
Mummy, have I any smalls? Lord, right. Never heard of laundry.
I always used to use Sharpies when I used to use plastic labels. Always used Sharpies. They were brilliant. But you can't use a Sharpie on a lolly stick label because it bleeds up the
Yeah.
grain instantly. It's useless.
What else?
Your chilies are looking amazing, Tony. I was just, like I say, scanning through that video.
No,
They're looking better than mine now. They've overtaken mine, I think.
they're so suited to.
Just about.
However,
Have you had
can we
any?
just have a little bit of silence and just enjoy the moment?
We have a little bask. Yeah, no, they look really good. Really, really good. Have you had any harvests off them yet?
I've just picked
Any
a couple.
earlies?
You know that I showed it. Actually, it was last week. You know the corking one, JB. That turned red.
Yeah.
That turned red. So, and Audrey's going to send us because I'm itching to kind of stuff me some of me jalapenos. Do you know what I mean? And Audrey says she's going to send us a recipe. So
Yeah, I'm gonna send two.
I worked out as well because again label and catastrophe. One lot of chilies on me small chili grows, you know, the small pots is growing upwards. Then I've worked out. I think that's does piri piri grow upwards, JB?
Yes. Yeah, I left you a comment actually. You said,
Right.
JB, what chili is this?
Right.
Yeah, I reckon it's one of the peri peri varieties.
Right.
Because they do point to the sky.
So no, it's.
But yeah, they're looking amazing.
There's loads of flowers, but like I say, I'm hoping I can. One cross the finishing line. Do you know what I mean? That's why I did the tomato video to kind of, just put the video on and say, right, there, I've done it. No more videos on tomatoes. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just like I've crossed the line. That's it. Finished. Done. So, how's your chilies doing then, JB? Are you?
They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. I did a full chili tour, I don't know, a couple of weeks back. They're looking very good, but definitely ever so slightly behind yours now, I would say.
Would you like
the
me to
varieties
come
are...
on your? Would you like me to come
loaded.
on your? Sorry, Audrey, go on.
No, I said your jalapeno is loaded with fruit.
Whose? Tony's or mine?
Oh, Tony's.
Yeah, mine's only got one or two. I was going to say.
Sorry.
Not quite.
Oh, that was smart. You could just see.
Never
it
ask a
eyes.
question you don't want the answer to.
Is it mine, Audrey? Is it mine? Have you got yours in any auto pots then, JB?
Yeah, I would say the Autopot ones are slightly bigger than yours. Those ones are rocketing away. But all the ones just in standard pots and in my quad grows as well in the greenhouse, just a little bit further behind than yours, I would say. I think looking at yours, I think a lot of it is probably because I was a little bit late potting on because of the cold temperatures, which is why I've got a lot of early harvests. I think I've forced some fruit out basically inadvertently, which will, at the end of the season, it means you're going to have a smaller chili plant left over. But have you seen Chili Chump's latest grow update, Tony? If you want to feel better about your chilies, you need to check out Chili Chump's tour because
you're trying to get him on the show, aren't you? So that would be fabulous.
Yeah. He really wants to come on.
We'll be able to gloat.
You will, yeah, you will.
Right.
I don't know if I'd recommend it. He might never come back on. But yeah, no. With the cold temperatures, because he's kind of up north as well. Not as far north as you, though. Lincolnshire. But yeah, he's had probably the worst growing season he's had in about 15 years, which isn't a big surprise. But I don't know what you've done, Tony, this year. You've managed to
No, you got the touch this year,
just
Tony.
dodge it, right? Like you've had enough heat in your greenhouse to give everything a really good start. And it just seems like everything you put in the polytunnel, that polytunnel seems like a special little magical place where everything is just grown just right. You know, it's really, really impressive.
You know what you never mentioned there, Jibby? You never mentioned the gardener. You mentioned the polytunnel.
All
No,
the
I'm
kit.
saying it's you.
Yeah.
I'm saying I said you've managed to get it just
it
right.
just goes without saying that I've got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? It could have been anybody just planting it there. You know what I mean? I think. Well, I also mentioned it. I was struggling, to be honest, like something not right early on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
just seemed to like rocket away. You know what I mean? Someone was very smug with these bloody chili. He kept bringing these
I
chili
didn't mean
plants.
to be. I was just simply showing people the truth.
Oh, and enjoying every second.
Oh
of it.
yeah.
You got to take the wins. So you got to take the wins.
How is that, Jimmy? How is that actual chili plant? You know, the one that you were showing where week after
That one
week.
that was massive.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly which one it was. It was one of the Chinen's varieties, and I think there's a good chance it's the one in the auto pot. I've got red habanero in the auto pot, which is looking really, really healthy. But to be fair, you've got some which are looking pretty similar. You've got a lot of Chinen's variety. Do you know which? It's probably the Butcher Lokia, isn't it? Your Chinen's that are in the quad grow. You've got some nice looking ones. So.
People mentioned the way I'm kind of pronouncing bird jalurka. Bird jalurka. That's in me. They were the ones, you know, that were like the size of me nail for weeks. Do you know what I mean? And they were in like the tiniest little pots, and the others were like starting to kind of come away, but these things never moved. And then I don't know, they moved, but I put them into the chili grow ones, and they're like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So. They're in there
Yeah.
in the actual chili growers on the right hand side ones, and there's three. I brought three. Well, not across the line, but whether I'll use them, JB, that's the thing. I mean, I'm a jalapeno guy through and through. You know what I mean? Kind of a bit of
Gotta
jalapeno.
give them away to your enemies.
What?
Surely your kids will get first taste. Make sure they get the.
There you go. There's what you give your kids to taste.
Yeah. Go on then, Ellie. Have that.
Hey, Tony, did you see the question from Nicola? She's checking in on our what are we calling that? Sucker challenge.
Sugar challenge. Well,
Sucker challenge.
Nicola, thank you. Mine has picked up. Mine. I don't think I'm going to win, but it's kind of looking a lot because I planted it straight in soil. I didn't do the water technique, Audrey. I popped it in clover, give it a water, and it sat sulking for a good 10 days. But now it looks to be, 10 days. But now it looks to be kind of right. I've got a job to do. Let's kind of get cracking on. I don't know what to do with it now, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Because you're like, I'm out of quad grows. What do I do?
I've got one that I could use, but I'd have to kind of silicon it up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a quad grow that's just like one side. I don't think I've got any grommets or anything like that. So I don't know. I'd truly like to win it. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest. You know what I mean? But
So what defines winning it? I don't know if we defined that, did we?
well,
How many tomatoes you get from the
well, I
sucker?
think it's. No, let's just call it a marathon then, and we all got to cross the line. Do you know what I mean? If we're doing a marathon, we've all got to cross the line to see we've finished the marathon.
Okay.
I've got like
two of mine. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Audrey, I've got like a few little flowers on, but I still cannot see them turning, like getting red. Now, I did think you took steroids and cheated because you've got a full tomato plant that you've just kind of lifted from one place to another.
No, that's how big the sucker was. I actually took suckers off the sucker, but it's not doing well.
Oh.
And I realized, I thought the moment I put it in water, I thought, there's too much growth on this thing. It is not. So I tried to cut all the leaves kind of in half. I think the tomatoes being on it was too heavy a load. So that one's, I'm leaving it.
She does never win.
It up.
She does never win.
But I'm not cheating. My goodness. And the two smaller ones are looking really good. So those will probably go in the ground this week. So I let them get a little bit in the water, and then I put them in some potting soil. So now I think it's time to go in the ground. See what
I
they
think
can
the
do.
only way I'll get tomatoes, I've got to keep them in somehow in the polytunnel. I don't think they'll work. You know, you Southerners, like I say, Jess is planting outside tomatoes now. Do you know what I mean? And she's like,
Not with
So
a great optimism though. They are literally just like the spares, and I want them to go somewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I know it's going to be August by the end of this week,
Oh my
but
gosh.
but then it's September, and then
like
you're getting.
August, so there were August, September, October, still 3 months left of
Right.
tomato growing. I
But
don't
August
think
just
we're under
feels
pressure.
like it's over. Doesn't it? There's like something about when you hit August, it's like, yeah, we're
It does feel
we're
like you're
definitely into
definitely
fall
on the
garden. Yeah,
yeah.
we're into our fall winter gardens now. Yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna get tomatoes till August, so it's okay. They'll still come.
Did you do a sucker, JB? Have you done a sucker?
I posted on
Oh,
the
you spilled
Discord
it.
because
Oh, you left
I
it on the floor, didn't you?
forgot about mine. Yeah, it was a big one as well. It was chunky. I was like, yeah, that'll be great. And then, yeah, just got distracted doing 20 other things. I don't really have space to grow one, so I haven't done another one, to be honest. But
That's such a feeble excuse. I don't want to do it. No, it's not my thing. I don't like to take part in competitions. You know what I mean? If he had a big sucker, then it'd be straight in there. You know what I mean? It'd be coming out every week. Look at this. I mean, I tell you, Jess, whether I can cross the finishing line with it, but me sweet potatoes is like rocketing away. Do you know what I mean?
Are they
Them
looking
kind of
good?
I was
amazing
gonna
how
ask
like
about them.
them little slips, just a
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
them in the pot, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's like Disney when the Mickey Mouse with the water, that Fantasia, where there's just too much. It's just like whoosh, whoosh, away. You know what I mean? So, but whether there's going to be actual sweet potatoes in there, I would love it, to be honest. That would be like a real kind of win for us, to be
Yeah.
honest. I've never grown them before.
The sweet
Right.
potatoes are one of those things that feel really exotic, don't they? It's like
Mm-hmm.
the first time you grow a melon and you cut it open and you taste it and it actually tastes of melon. It seems a miracle that this has actually happened. And the sweet potatoes were the same that first year when I was really lucky with them. It was literally like, oh my God, this can't be real.
I can't remember if have we all done sweet potatoes this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jess, yeah, right.
Yep.
JB, what's yours like?
The one in the greenhouse in a 30-litre potato tub, amazing, looking really good. It's at the top of the teepee already. It's head height, and it's just going a bit wild. And I think I'm probably just going to leave it to do its thing now, wrap it around a little bit more. But it's going to go wild. It started pressing up against the glass and just climbing. And I figure actually that's quite a good way for it to just train itself. So I'm going to leave it. It's not shading anything. I did one in the ground in the polytunnel as well, which is like really densely planted with the tomatoes and the aubergines and everything. Just gonna let it go, see what happens. The ones that I put outside, I chucked 2 slips just outside in a big bed. Absolutely rubbish. Barely grown at all.
Really?
Just because we've had, I think, a few cold nights. And I think it's really, they've just kind of sat there.
Yeah, they don't like cold.
It got down to like 8 degrees, not that long ago. So I'm sure it was there were some cooler nights before that. And yeah, I've not got high hopes for the ones outdoors, but it was just a bit of gamble. I gave a few away as well to like allotment neighbours, and they've been growing them in the greenhouse. Really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Where did you get them from, JB? Did you remember where?
Oh, that's a good question. DT Brown, I think.
I was
How
going to
many
say.
did you get?
I got 5 slips.
Oh, okay.
5 or 6, something like that. So 2 in the greenhouse,
We must
2
all
in the ground,
yes.
and gave a couple away. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well,
How did they come? Because I've never bought them as slips. I've only ever bought them like in a like a proper pot.
They pretty healthy, just tiny little plugs. It took them a little while I was a little bit worried, when I just planted them in like little 3-inch pots, and they did look quite sad for a while, but it was still quite cool in the greenhouse, what the start of the year was like. So, once they started moving, I repotted them pretty quick, and they've been okay ever since.
Awesome.
So when do you think, JB, we can get Chili Chump on? Should we do like a Friday or something, or should we just do a Monday? Or
yeah, we can discuss. I'm happy either way. We could do it as a Monday. I was wondering if Audrey or Jesse or anyone was away coming up, but I think everyone's locked in recently. So yeah, maybe we'll do an extra show.
Mm-hmm. Oh well,
a chili show.
Chili, we haven't done. Mm-hmm.
To be fair, Chili Chump does have a really good veg patch. It is like kind of sidelined on his channel because it's all about chilies. But he does grow loads of other stuff as well.
Well, before we go, let me just give a little plug myself to, where is it there? I'm just looking at my tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, the very first Mother Chucker garden experience, where I had a chat, sat down and chatted with Ian from Grown Local. And it's fascinating to be kind of like how, we just take it, all right, Ian's got a few seeds and kind of, like a little company, sorting it out. But it's like the work that goes into it is unreal. Do you know what I mean? And like
when you see behind the scenes.
Do some, come on, do some work with us. We'll do a chat. Oh, I haven't got time to, and I haven't got time. And then you find out how, why, you know what I mean? It's just like, so yes, that's, if you're on Patreon, that is tomorrow morning. It's primed, ready to go as the first little podcast. So you've got, if you're our paid member, there's a thing called an RSS feed that you put into your podcatcher. You can get it. You can get actually this.
Is there any particular reason it's on at 6 a.m.?
Well, you know why? It's totally not. Podcasts are totally different, Jess, to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just like a different beast at all. So really, it's just, it doesn't matter what time you put them up. They're all, it's like, I guess, like this, they're always there. So it doesn't matter what time they go. You just kind of, you put them up, and then people can either listen, whenever, months, like years, but they're listening in the house, in the car, going to work. And I get quite a few downloads from this show, just the audio. Do you know what I mean? So people kind of watch it for wherever, but listen to it going to work or in the bath. JB, there's a lot of young ladies in the bath there, in the bath, thinking about JB. It's that voice. Hello. You know what I mean? I think it just stirs and then there's the.
Incredible.
We'll never get on the BBC. Well, listen, it is the top of the hour. Jess, JB, Audrey, thank you so much. Jess,
Fun.
My
face actually hurts. I was smiling so much in this one.
Well, it's about time you started to smile, Audrey. You know what I mean?
I know, I'm so stern. I'm sorry.
Jesse, where can we find you?
On YouTube, Jesse at Plot 37.
Well, who am I?
Yeah, I've got no idea. Somewhere. If you look for Jesse and Plot 37, I'll show up on whatever platform it is.
Right. JB.
You can find me at Naturally JB on YouTube, Instagram, and on Patreon.
And Patreon as well, yes. And actually, JB was very kind enough. That's a nice thing. I didn't realise you could do that, JB. You can share or recommend to people,
It's a new feature, yeah. They just added it, I think.
Yes, it was nice. Thank you. So
they've been adding lots of new bits and pieces, haven't they? I have to go in and have a look. They really messed up on the messaging, because you can message inside Patreon.
That's my most used feature, the
all
Patreon
of mine
chat is really
disappeared. All of my previous messages just vanished.
All right.
That's very useful. Thank you so much. They have returned now, so I don't know what it was, some sort of glitch, but that was fun.
It's funny, I had to kind of sit down and really on the website, work out how to, you know what I mean? Because with Starship Sofa, I just kind of put the audio, again, podcast, just put it up. And I've done that for since 2005, so there's no adverts in it, because on Starship Sofa, you get, when you listen to it, there's adverts because the podcast hosts insert adverts. So that's why I do it
Right.
on there. So I've never really looked at how it works. But now with this side of it, I've had to sit down and right, I can schedule, you know what I mean? So I can do posts, I can do pictures, I can do, you know what I mean? And did you know, everybody, did you know, Jess JB, you can get there's a free tier,
Yeah.
which is, I think, is a great, you know what I mean? So if anyone's, all of it, there is a free tier you can join as well, and we can kind of keep in touch that way as well. So
I use the thing I use most on Patreon, which I really love, is there's basically like a little group chat. So quite often I do little allotment updates on there, things that don't really make it into videos, and just update people on what's happening, especially when I'm really far behind with video editing and that kind of thing. It's quite nice.
It's that's another. I like doing, like, say, a 5-minute video. Do you know what I mean? Where, like, just no editing, just kind of. And I did like an aubergine one picking, and I was thinking, shall I treat me Patreon members to like the wobbly tomato one? I thought, well, that's actually
God, no, don't do that.
I'll get people counselling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got this footage which I think is fabulous, but you just kind of, you know what I mean? You kind of watch the bloody thing. So anyway, Audrey, my
Yes,
angel,
sir.
my angel, don't forget me recipe. Where can we find you?
I won't. Real Food Comes Dirty. YouTube, Instagram, and .com.
Right. And you have not a
Thank you.
Patreon yet. You know what I mean? So
I am like, I don't know. That's all I can say. I don't know.
Do you get Audrey, with being over there, like on viewers, say just on YouTube, do you get more Americans watching you than UK? Do you dive
I
into
have
Canada?
about a 50-50 split,
Right.
which I think is great. Because I find that the UK gardeners are very engaged, like with the whole talking about it. I just feel like it's a different gardening culture over there than it is here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I appreciate all my US folks, but it's a different dialogue with them than with the UK gardeners.
Oh, that's nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
from Patreon's just said, "Are you sure you want to, Chris? Are you sure you want to? I'll put it up there." Do you know what I mean? So,
Tomato earthquake. I love it.
right then. Big thank you, Jess, JB, Audrey. Thank you so much. Everyone in the
See you
chat.
later, chaps.
Lovely. Take good care. Bye.
Bye.